This is absolutely Essendon, our match review against the Power. What a way to lose. That was absolutely heartbreaking. I'm not going to repeat the scores again. You all know what happened. That is just so hard to swallow. In fact, it's still sitting just right there. To lose that with a goal after the siren, after we're going to unpack it. There's so much to unpack, but I'm feeling just a mixture of emotions, positives, negatives, contradictory emotions. Where do we start? Should we start with the positives and negatives, or just do it all at once in a misery stew?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll work it out as we go, I guess. Yeah, this is a tough one.
Do you want to get you something, coffee or something?
Yeah, fucking bullet to the head.
Can we keep this to 6 minutes?
No way. I think guys and gals and everything in between, grab yourselves your favourite bevy, sit down, pull a blanket around you. Let's have a look at this, because this is not fun. I'm going to be honest with you, this is not fun. I know you come here for laughs and giggles. And
yeah, there won't be many laughs today, just a warning.
We'll do our best. But look, maybe this is more about wrapping arms around each other and, just getting through the day, maybe the week, I don't know. But let's have a look at it. So we lost that game by 2.5 millimetres.
We did.
We lost that game by a guy who kicked the greatest after siren goal I've ever seen.
Potentially goal of the year, they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, look, all credit to Houston. I just hope some of our boys had a look at the cool, calm head on that man's shoulders.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. And in a very difficult position, wet, on an angle, 55 metres out, everything on the line. Well done to Dan Houston, who... Yeah. Incidentally, I think was probably their best player anyway for the game. But we're here to talk about the Bombers, and the Bombers we shall discuss.
We shall, and we'll get into maybe a gradual sort of quarter by quarter breakdown. But just what makes it so painful is that I thought we were gone. Somehow they clawed their way back into the game. Got in front, and that's just what makes it such a knife to the heart. Like it's not often that you feel a loss like that. That was tough.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, the psychology of it, because I didn't feel quite as shattered after the Jamie Elliott goal last year.
Yeah,
they pegged us back.
Yeah,
and won the game with the dying kick, the last kick. This was different because, pretty much we were gone in the first 10 minutes of that last quarter.
Yes,
they had all the running.
That's right.
And then it was miraculous, the turnaround. And,
it was.
And all credit, if nothing else, take some solace from that last 15 minutes. Yeah, okay, we lost it, but it could have gone either way. But that last 15 minutes, the performance by our team to fight back in the most difficult of conditions, that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
And there was some heroes out there for us last night.
Big time.
And we'll probably come to that as we go through this. But
big time.
But let's perhaps start in the first quarter, because I think, there was some very alarming signs in the first quarter.
Yeah.
We were being dominated by the umpires.
They certainly weren't helping. There were so many controversial calls in that first quarter, and the fact, a little fortunate that Port weren't kicking as well as they could have.
Very fortunate.
We could have been 6 goals down.
Yeah, look, I don't like to pin losses on umpires, and it certainly wasn't the case in this game. But I just think, for a general observation, the umpiring of our game has hit rock bottom. And we touched on the disaster that was the Adelaide loss to Collingwood, and the fact that even the AFL had to come out and say, the umpires got it wrong.
Because it was so blatant. It was so obvious. Yeah. Like they had to. They just had to.
There was half a dozen. It wasn't so much the free kicks that were paid in that first quarter. It was the free kicks that weren't paid. And, we were being completely arse-raped by those pricks. And I swear to God, there needs to be a royal commission into the quality of umpiring in this country. They need to be held accountable. No, you can't say anything bad about them. What bloody job on the planet are you not held to account for your poor decision-making?
Yeah, they are very much... the inconsistency, and I want to get I won't cover that now. I want to come back to the 50-metre penalties, but we'll, if we've got time, I'll leave that. I'll leave that towards the end. But yes, there's some issues there, and we blow money on royal commissions on lots of other stuff. Why not?
So again, I really want to stress: I'm not blaming the loss on the umpiring. I'm just making a general comment, and I think you agree that that the standards of umpiring are terrible, but made worse by the just ridiculous rules that we've inserted into this game.
Yeah,
is it intentionally out of bounds? Is it insufficient effort to keep it in?
Yeah.
Why does one umpire consider that a free kick and the other doesn't? You know, can we please take as much of the subjectivity out of the decision making? Make it black and white. Anytime the ball goes over the line, the other side gets the ball.
Yeah.
If it happens to go over the line in the forward 50 arcs, make it that they can't kick directly at goal, whatever. But it's got to be at least that rule can be a black and white decision. Anyway, enough of that.
It's very much guided by which player is standing next to them at the time and how loudly they complain.
Or the crowd, or the scoreboard, or the fucking lack of intelligence that these lime green shirted idiots have.
There's just so many influencing factors.
Right,
anyway.
Enough of the umpires.
Right.
I said it was going to be a rant.
So the first quarter,
I had a rant.
Slow out of the blocks.
Yeah, look, and this has been a little bit of the case in recent weeks. Okay, we won against Carlton, but we were pretty sloppy in the first quarter, half against Carlton. Fremantle, of course, we got off to a reasonable start, but in the end blew that first quarter. So, it seems to me that our best quarters are after half-time.
Yeah.
And we've got to look at that in a little bit more detail.
I think our third quarters are our best quarters, I think.
They have been.
I think.
They have been.
Yeah.
So, first quarter, we were lucky to be, I think we might have even had our noses in front at quarter time. I can't remember. But
No.
It was close.
We were down, but it could have been much wider the gap.
But there's some alarming signs, but clearly the game plan shifted a little bit from, what it was in the first quarter. There's a bit more run in the game.
It did.
And they were opening up the field a bit more, playing to less congested positions. And I thought there was some really good signs from a few players in that second quarter that got us back into the game. Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree.
Okay,
yes.
So that's it. We've only just started.
So far. We've only just started. But let's just give a nod to the likes of Phillips, because we, have been a little harsh on Phillips in a couple of episodes. And
maybe he's going to thank us for that.
Maybe
he's in career best form since we unloaded on him.
Well, look, arguably, he had it easier last night, but still, he had to take advantage of it, and he did.
He did. He was great.
Yeah, I mean, there were some moments there when Butters and Rosie started sort of reading it a little bit better and taking advantage of it. But it doesn't matter. He did what he had to do.
Yeah.
So. Andrew, thank you very much. Just want to acknowledge that.
We're going to retain your service for a little longer.
Yes.
Now, I just want to talk about Butters and Rosie, if I may, because I think Darcy Parish probably needs to have a look at their highlights package from that game.
Probably.
I'm a fan of Darcy. I think he's a great footballer. He's an A-grade footballer, but you can't be getting the ball as often as he does and not impacting the game. And I'm afraid, again, last night we saw Parish had, 20-odd, 25 disposals or thereabouts.
29, I think.
29, was it? But going at a 58% disposal efficiency, whereas Zach Butters, had a similar number of possessions and I think was going around 76% disposal. I think Rosie scored 3 goals himself. More than 20 possessions at around 86 disposal efficiency. So Darcy, we've really got to get him using the ball better. He gets it often enough. And it's not like he's always at the bottom of the pack, and therefore that's why his disposal efficiency is a little short. He's often out on the open and pinging it to the opposition.
Yeah.
So
there was a few turnovers.
Darcy's probably going to stay with us. I think he's made it clear that he wants to stay on at the Bombers. Which, great, let's embrace that. But we've got to get more mileage out of him. Now, on that point, there's an issue with our centre bounce setups.
Yeah.
Parish and Merritt cannot be together in the same centre bounce setup. They just can't. And then you add Shield, who I think is surplus to the needs at the moment, into that lineup, which was what happened at the beginning of the fourth quarter. That's just not working for us. When we've got guys like Caldwell, Hobbs, Stringer,
I agree,
who provide a different dynamic And a combination of those with either Merritt or Parrish, but never Parrish and Merritt together, is what we really have to look at, because it is not working. And I thought Scott made a very, very bad judgment call, taking Menzies off the ground in the last quarter. Shield came on, and that's fine. I think Shield had to come on to the ground.
Yeah. But
not at the cost of the small pressure forward who could have got us the valuable goal, as opposed to leaving two, 198 plus centimetre forwards on in a wet night, and neither of them had basically touched the ball. So that was just a really, really bad piece of coaching from Brad. And
it was incredibly perplexing. I think most Dons fans were just scratching their heads going, what is going on here? But I tell you what's interesting is that in his press conference, unprompted...
I don't watch them anymore.
No, you don't? Really? Jeez, they used to be so...
They're becoming a little Ben Rutten-like.
Well, no, I don't know.
Rinse and repeat.
That said, are we doing a three-quarter, 75% of the year sort of review? But we might need to take back some of our previous love. But anyway, unprompted, in that press conference, he threw in a defence of Weideman.
Unprompted.
Which I thought was very...
So what, he was just talking about something else and then...
well, no, because they were talking about Phillips in the ruck, and he was just saying, and Weideman really chipped in.
Well, hang on, they were talking about Phillips in the ruck.
Yes.
And he decided that was an appropriate time to talk about Weideman.
Yeah, the value of Weideman and how he made
what was the value?
A contribution there to the ruck contest.
So let's just have a quick look at this, because I am not here to have a go at Sam Weideman at all. And I know you don't. We're not interested in taking cheap shots at Sammy.
No.
I'm interested in taking cheap shots at Brad Scott, though.
Yeah, I think Mr. Scott, you have an egoic connection and an egoic attachment to this. His ego. Okay?
Oh,
his ego is involved.
Egoistic?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, I'm just helping.
No, you're not really helping.
Egoic.
It made sense as I
said. All right, sorry, wasting time.
That he thinks he's going to prove everybody wrong with Weideman.
Oh, egoic.
That's that he's going to prove everybody wrong,
yeah.
And he's just holding tight. And I think, Brad, you need to transcend the ego. We all stuff up. Fucking ask him. Everybody does it, and you need to just let that go. Because
just on that point, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody.
Yes.
He's arguably a modern-day legend. Maybe not legend, but he's close to it.
Yes, he is.
Certainly a fan favourite.
Definitely fan favourite.
So it's okay for Waller to go back and play VFL football, to find touch, to get match fit, to get his confidence back. That's fine.
Exactly.
But a guy who's had half a minute at the club, who's come from a fairly questionable background of, consistency and performance, no. We're not going to let him play in the VFL. We will not damage precious goods like Sam Weideman in the VFL. So this is not on Sam Weideman. He doesn't pick himself every week.
No, he does not.
The coaching panel does
not. Or within a game as a substitute. But on that note, I don't want to digress. But was that a Dodoro decision to go and chase Weideman, do you think?
Sure.
Or was that a Brad Scott sort of influence? Because I know Brad Scott was involved in sort of, swaying Tipper to come back. Which was a very good thing.
Sure, yeah.
Hats off.
And throws him in the reserves for the rest of the year.
But what about the Weideman? Was that him behind?
Yeah, probably. I mean, look, it's never a single person makes that call. I think Dodoro probably suggested, look, we need another tall forward. Jones has been a little bit injury prone. And Weideman was available. I don't think they only gave away a packet of chips for him, but I tell you that's starting to look like overs.
Yeah.
So, no, look, I think there was some hope for Weideman at the beginning of the season. He had, showing some pretty decent form. But the poor guy, I mean, I feel for him. That miss in the last quarter after, I think, Merritt laid the tackle on Aliir.
Mate, on Aliir. He bored him down. That was like a Jack Russell on a Rhodesian Ridgeback. Brought him down. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Got the ball to Weideman.
A must-land tackle.
My God. Yeah. And that just sucked the energy out of the team.
Well, you could see, I was at the ground not far from where that kick was taken, and, you could literally see some of the Bombers guys up the field just sort of hanging their heads at that moment.
Yeah. Oh, no wonder, because you work so hard. It was a game of few opportunities. You need to just nail those.
So, to my point... how do you reckon Sam would have been feeling at that moment? I mean, he would have been going, just get me out of here, please.
Yeah. Give me a rock to go and crawl under.
Exactly. And back in the dressing rooms, the guys would have gone, hey, don't worry about it. You miss those ones.
Yeah.
It's time for Scott to absolutely grow up. This is not about his views and how he wishes he could turn the guy into the next John Coleman. It's time to give the guy a break, let him go back to the VFL, let him find his form, and who knows, maybe by the end of the year he can come back into the senior side and be an effective contributor and feel good about himself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Going back to the Brad Scott press conference as well, which I thought was interesting, they asked about Aaliyah, and Brad felt that... he hadn't had, that much impact on the game. And I just thought, what?
Yeah. I mean, who was he on, Wright?
Yes.
How many kicks did Peter Wright get?
Exactly.
That's the only measurement that matters with a defender. Is how many goals, how many disposals does your opponent get?
That's right.
And I don't think Peter Wright had a point. He didn't score, did he?
I just thought Aaliyah's impact on the game was huge.
Yeah, Wright had six possessions for the night. So
I know that was only when he went down back.
Yeah, I mean, I know Aaliyah didn't take the number of marks he normally would, but it was a wet night. But he certainly halved every
More
contest.
Than halved. 80%ed every
allowed
contest.
His smaller defenders to run the ball out, and they did that very effectively for most of the night. Look, again, a coaching choice to play those two tall forwards on what was, pretty soggy evening.
Yeah.
I think we've got to consider those issues when it comes to team selection going forward because, I think Brad Scott also said that, Peter Wright's only a game away from another bag of 5 goals.
Yeah.
How many times can you keep rolling that dice? I'm not saying we drop Peter Wright.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely not. No, but we need to think about the combination of those two players, those two tall forwards.
So let's come back then to the last quarter. Weideman misses.
Yeah.
It's wind out of the sails. Couldn't be more out of the sails.
It was very deflating. Yeah.
It was over. Somehow this team just clawed their way back and got in front.
Yeah.
When Langford was charging forward, mark that ball.
Oh,
there's
it was
a guy.
amazing. Yeah.
There's a guy at the polar opposite of a Weideman. Unfortunately, without bringing up Weideman again, he's like
polar opposite. A lot of players last night.
I'm going to mark this because I know I can kick it. You know what I mean? It's the confidence that comes, not just like a bit of a fumble.
Yeah.
And that was just incredible.
It was a great moment, and it is. It's just that. It wasn't a spectacular, stand on someone's shoulders mark. It was pretty spectacular.
No, but it was clutch.
It was a goal, like, you're saying, where nothing else in the world mattered at that moment other than getting that ball, and he got it and he banged it through. And then Jai Caldwell's last quarter.
Yeah.
I mean... we've had some hits and misses with our recruiting over the years, but I tell you what, Jai Caldwell is not one of those misses. He has been fantastic.
Yes.
And we are seeing a guy that's going to be in the middle of the ground for us for the next 10 years. Him and Hobbs, I tell you, those two players are really something to look forward to now.
Hobbs will be a premiership player. Hopefully it's for us.
I suspect that Zach Merritt will take us to our first finals win.
Yeah.
In many, many years.
Yeah.
Ben Hobbs will take us to our first silverware.
Oh, that's a big statement.
He's the next Joel Selwood.
Yeah.
He is the next Joel Selwood.
He's beautiful.
And,
he's beautiful.
I mean, how many games has he played? Probably 25 games, maybe more.
Yeah.
He plays like a guy who's been out there for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible. And he's solid. He is a solid unit.
Yeah.
So we're doing really well. And I'm excited about the prospects of Elijah Sardis joining those guys. So it's not all bad news, right?
No.
There's a lot to take from all
it's
this.
it's a mixture, right? It's a mixture.
Yeah.
It was a incredibly difficult way to lose, but there were positives. But you just feel like we could have had it. Like we could have. And we're going to need every win from this point forward.
Do we care about finals now?
Well, I still do, but I'm not feeling it. I don't mean to go down, but I'm just not feeling it. You've got to take those opportunities.
You do.
And yes, it was a freak goal after the siren, but still.
Look, I think the next 3 weeks we've got Adelaide at Marvel, then I think Geelong down at the Cattery. The Bulldogs after. So 3 pretty tough games, but there's no reason why we can't win 2 of those. And, then we have a pretty decent run of winnable games before coming up against the Pies in the last
Yeah.
game of the season. So, look, we still can, but the point is, do we want to?
Yes, no. I disagree. You're like, no, I disagree, because even if you go in and lose, it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, there'll be more memes.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
For the players like Hobbs, get them in front of that cooker, pressure cooker
Martin,
environment.
Hobbs, Caldwell, these boys. No, fair comment.
They
fair
need
comment.
to.
Yeah.
They need to feel that.
But we do play under those pressure cooker environments pretty regularly, as being a big club in Melbourne with the marquee game. So they do get those experiences.
Still, the stakes are a little different.
Yeah,
I think.
fair enough. No, look, I can't argue with that. I think that makes sense. So that's that game. I mean, is there much more that we can say about it?
Yes, I'm going to bring up the issue of 50-metre penalties, which we were on the right side of last night. But just, again, going back to the umpires, and just, I don't know where they studied real estate or measurements, but
they're using cubits.
Oh my God! But because generally
54
the old minimum 15-metre kicks, they generally miss that. Last night they were onto it, but that is so open to interpretation. Those 15-metre kicks, honestly, it just depends on whatever. But anyway, last night that wasn't an issue. They were on, but the 50-metre, in particular that one to Caldwell, where he was, when he got that, I'm almost 100% certain. Please comment if I've got this wrong, but he was forward of centre. Right? Forward of centre, gets a 50-metre penalty. He's still kicking. He just went over the arc just a little bit.
I didn't see that at the game.
And he's kicking 35. I'm like, what?
Did he get the goal?
No, he missed.
Right.
Now, only because, I'm probably sore on it because he missed and an extra 10 metres close.
What were the commentators saying about that?
No, they didn't, but they don't know.
Oh, because Joe Watson was commentating, was he?
They're fucking dumber than the umpires. But honestly, just learn your 50 metres. Players
Can't they use one of those little laser finder things?
Yeah, well, just what the site surveyors use.
Those wheels, where you roll them along the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They need a guy to go and just do that, because
why would you give
players
the decision,
are getting ripped off every week.
Why would you give the responsibility of measuring out 50 metres visually to people who are essentially blind?
And sponsored by Specsavers.
Yeah.
But but then I was thinking maybe it's just called 50-metre penalty, but it's not actually.
You think
really
it's
a 50-metre?
It's in the spirit.
Yeah.
But we often throw back to the old 15-metre penalty.
Maybe.
It's a sort of like heritage thing.
Maybe it's like McDonald's 100% beef. Like, it's just a trademark name. It's not actually 100% beef. You're not getting that.
What's rat meat called? Is that beef? Is that rat beef?
Yeah, I thought maybe it's along those lines. Because
we better watch out, because they contacted us about a sponsorship.
Oh,
thing.
shit. Oh, I love it.
Happy Meals,
my God, yeah. Macca's, thank you.
Yeah, look, I mean, umpiring. There's, like we said earlier in the show. Well, God, that seems like yesterday now. That beginning of this show, but I think we did say there needs to be a royal commission on umpiring. I wouldn't call it that. I just call it round them up and shoot them. But
but the whole tackling thing, the whole there's.
Would you do it if the money was good enough? Would you do it? I mean, if you were physically capable of it. I'm not suggesting that you're not, but if would you? What do they get paid a game? Would it have to be at least $5,000, right? Can someone let us know?
A game, yeah. I think it's $4,000 to $5,000. Yeah, yeah. And if you know how to bounce the ball correctly, you get an extra $500.
That's interesting. All right. Well then, well, they're earning it, aren't they?
But if anyone knows, again, please share. And once again, thank you for all the amazing comments that we receive. We also learn a lot. So keep them coming.
We do. And guys, look, we said at the outset of when we founded this channel back in, how long ago? April this year?
Back in April.
In the old days? When we were just shy young lads.
Right.
A little awkward on air.
We were.
We always said we were never going to reach out and say, please hit a like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's right.
If you've stuck this far, you probably already have done that. So
right.
Thank you.
Yes.
But if you are here and you haven't subscribed, it means a lot. Yeah. I haven't fed my family for a couple of weeks.
That's
and
right.
if we can get ourselves up to 1,000 subscribers, we can monetize this shit. All right.
Well, I don't know how much.
It's going to be at least a can of cat food.
Yeah. If we could pay for coffee, because we've noticed that actually most of the people that watch don't subscribe, which
Are they subscribing somewhere else?
PewDiePie, the Beast.
God's sake. They're happy to. They've got 18-year-old girls on TikTok. They're subscribed, but they won't come to us. a couple of charming middle-aged men.
Yeah, I hate to be needy, but if you could smash that like button.
Please do it, guys.
Yeah.
Can we actually insert this at the beginning
Also,
when a few more were watching?
And on another note, if we ever disappear and don't stop producing
the tax office has finally found
these videos, it's because we lost the password. And
can we put that on the screen? So
so just know that we haven't abandoned you. It's because we lost access to our own channel.
We might be taking a couple of days off this week, won't
that happened, maybe, but that happened a few weeks ago, if you recall. And
we lost the password?
Yeah, we didn't know how to access our own YouTube channel. And they don't actually have a customer service department.
That's right.
And remember, we were like, how are we going to start this all over again?
I know. Well, we wouldn't.
Yeah, that's right.
That involved work.
We need very few obstacles to keep going.
It's the path of least resistance has always been our motto.
It is. We've lived by it.
Is this going to be included in the final edit?
I don't know.
We'll see.
But,
look, we could put it in the director's cut.
Yes, maybe this is the director's
cut.
cut.
So I think we should say farewell.
Right.
And
thanks again for watching.
I hope you managed to get through your hot chocolate during that time. And we will look forward to seeing you in our next video, which will be the preview of the big game against the Crows.
Oh, God.
Let's go back. Let's pump up.
Yes. Hopefully we would have recovered by then. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks so much, guys. See you soon.
Bye for now.